Hello, my name is Johnie Perryman, and I'm going to blow my horn just a little bit, hoping that I can give somebody some inspiration about how easy it is to be successful in life, how easy it is to make a difference in life. Now, here in Clariton, Pennsylvania, the coke works is polluting the air, and everybody's afraid of all the jobs they would lose if they shut down the coke works. In Seattle, we had a place called Bethlehem Steel that was polluting the air, and we had all kinds of demonstrations against it, but those were the highest paying jobs in Seattle at that time. And so people didn't want to lose it, even though they were polluting the air. Bethlehem Steel went out of business. And when they went out of business, the air cleared up, and then they had classes come to town like Landmark and Pursuit of Excellence, and where they taught you meditation and taught you how to be successful in life and taught you how to be successful in business, just taught you so many different things. Agreement creation process, conflict resolution, and just so many different things. Out of that came Starbucks. Out of that came Amazon.com. Out of that came Costco. Out of that came Microsoft. In 1993, there was over 9,000 Microsoft millionaires. And when I Googled it today, it said there was 12,000 Microsoft millionaires. And there was never any 9,000 people working at Bethlehem Steel. And now not only did they have more people working at Microsoft, but there was more people that was millionaires at Microsoft than they had working, period, at Bethlehem Steel. I worked for a labor union for a while, and we represented the Washington State Ferries. Now, when I first came to the labor union, people told me that the labor union was controlled by organized crime. And so I said, well, why don't you get rid of them? And they said, you can't get rid of organized crime, they'll kill you. And so I got rid of organized crime. Wasn't hard to do. Everybody wanted to get rid of them, and they were afraid to stand up. But I stood up and took the lead, and they got rid of organized crime. I was on the cover of a magazine for getting rid of organized crime, but it wasn't me. It was me and the God inside of me that got rid of organized crime. And then we had this senator, Slade Gordon, voted against everything that was labor related against the working people. And I decided we had to get rid of Slade Gordon, so I started looking for somebody to take his place as senator. There's this woman that indicated she was interested in being senator, but the newspapers laughed at her and television news laughed at her, calling her the soccer mom, because everywhere she went, she had her kids' soccer shoes with her, and she was had the audacity to think that she could take a senator's place that had been there for several terms and do the job. She had a potluck out at her house that was a fundraiser. I went there, I took another business representative with me from the union. There was about 12 people there, most of them were her family. And so I asked her what her position was on labor, and I liked it. And so I wrote her a check for $50. The other representative with me, felt ashamed not to write her a check, so he wrote her a check for $50. And then I gave her a check for $500 from the union. When I got back to the union back in Seattle, I had them put her in our union newspaper and to support her in her run against Slade Gordon for the senator. And then I went to all the other unions in the area, got them to put her in their newspaper supporting her for senator. Well, she became a senator. And let's see how long is it. And I think she's been a senator for 29 years. and she was the first female senator to head different things in that office, and she supported labor. It wasn't hard getting her in there. And then we had a governor, Governor Dixie Lee Ray. And when I got rid of organized crime out of the labor union, one of the first things we got rid of was the president of the union. It got rid of the secretary of treasury of the union. Got rid of the regional director of the union. And so when we got rid of them, I stood up at convention when the head of the AFL-CIO was there, who was also connected with the organized crime. And he said he was there at the invitation of the rank and file membership. I put up my hand, and when he recognized me, I took the microphone. I says, as a member of the rank and file membership, I invite you, Paul Hall, to get the hell out of our convention and don't ever come back. Everybody was shocked. There was about 300 people in the room. I had said what every last one of them wished they could have said, but they were afraid to say it. Then after I said it, they started coming to me and asking me who they should support for new president of the union and secretary of treasury, etc. They were sneaking to my hotel room and asking me. And so I got back to Seattle. I had a long talk with the president of the union and told him he had to break off with organized crime or we're going to get rid of him. He refused to do it, and then the Secretary of Treasury refused to break off also. And so we got rid of the president and the Secretary of Treasury. Now, the president of the union, our governor, Dixie Lee Ray, really liked him. She was a one-term governor. And she got angry because we got rid of him. And so we had a contract with the Washington State Ferries. And so the people from the Washington State Ferries, when they came to the negotiating table, they never made a counter proposal. We were talking to them for months, and they were just laughing at us. They weren't negotiating at all. Dixie Lee Ray told them not to give us a contract. I think she was trying to force us on strike so she could break the union. And so what we did was we went on strike. And when we went on strike, they arrested our new president, our new secretary of treasury, threw him in jail, the judge did, and levied a $25,000 a day fine against the union for, $25,000 an hour fine against the union for every hour we were on strike. It hit all the newspapers, front page. The Teamsters Union didn't like it. The Longshore Union didn't like it. None of the unions liked it. And so what the longshoremen and the Teamsters did, the longshoremen shut down the ports, wouldn't let any ships come in to get unloaded. The Teamsters shut down the highway. There was no trucks running on the highway. It was costing the state $8 million a day, the shutdown. The governor got scared, and she had the judge release them from jail, and the fine was reduced to $25 apiece. While we were on strike, while we were on the picket line, a reporter came up to me and asked me what it was all about. I explained to him about the organized crime and about the negotiations and about the governor, and I also said this governor would not have a second term. I was talking for a long time, and I didn't think he was paying any attention to me, but I didn't know he was recording me, but that's okay. Next day, on the front page of the Bremerton Sun, the whole front page was my interview, and half of the next page, second page, was my interview. But anyway, I was at a fundraiser for a guy running for King County Council, Larry Gossett, and it was hot, a warm summer evening. I stepped out on the porch, and this Chinese guy came out on the porch. His name was Gary Locke. He said he was thinking about running for governor. And so I told him, well, you should run for governor. And I told him what his platform should be. And then I invited him to come to our next union meeting, where there would be about 250 people there. And so there was three other people running for governor, and I liked Norm Rice even more than I did Gary Locke because I didn't know that much about Gary Locke. But the other three people didn't show up to the union. I invited all of them, but none of them showed up to the union. The only one that showed up was Gary Locke. I took his picture with all of our shop stewards from Seattle City Light, from the Bon Marché, from King County Roads, all of the shop stewards, and put them in our newspaper. And he let him speak to our members. And then we supported him for governor. And then I went around to all the other unions and told them to put him in their newspapers and support him for governor. And he became governor of the state of Washington. And he was the first Chinese American governor in the United States of America. And he hired half the people working for him were women, his staff, and 25% of the people on his staff were people of color. He was diversified. After he was governor, Barack Obama was elected president, and he became part of Barack Obama's cabinet, and he was Secretary of Commerce. I'm saying this to say that what I did was not much. It seemed like a lot, getting a governor appointed, getting a senator appointed who's been there for 29 years. It seems like a lot. And the senator was strong behind labor, and the governor was too. But it was just the fact that I did something. The reason nobody else was able to do anything is because they were afraid to act, and they didn't do anything. You'd be amazed at what you can accomplish in life if you just do something. And you can have big, huge, gigantic goals in life, but just take one step toward getting it completed. And then take one more step. Everybody can take 2 steps. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself way down the road to getting it done. You have power that you don't know you have. You have power that you've been brainwashed to think that you don't have. You have this power. All you have to do is wake up to it. If you wake up to it, you can make a difference in this world. Just think, what if all the labor unions in every state did what I did as far as senator and governor is concerned? It would completely change Washington, D.C. You shouldn't wait for the last 2 people on the ballot for president to see which one you're going to wait for. Every day you should be looking for a new president. Every day you should be looking for a new senator. And I don't mean looking on television and looking in the newspaper. Look at your next door neighbor. Look at your school teachers. Look at your janitors. Look at anybody that you know that is intelligent, that is honest, and that you trust. We've already proven we can put the dumbest people in the world in this office, in office in this country. So let's get some smart people, some trustworthy, honest people, and start another party. Call it the next door party. I would like to see every single person elected into office be somebody's next door neighbor that got elected because they're honest, got elected because they're intelligent, got elected because they wanted to do the right thing. All of us have this ability to control that, and I'm just asking you to step forward, reach inside of yourself, and do some of the things that God made you capable of doing. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. I hope I inspired somebody to do something.